Sent a request to be in your live video. View. Oh my. Oh please, Lucy. I just heard. I pressed something. A button should pop up. Okay, it's fine. Connecting. Oh my God. I've never been more thrilled, ever. It's a day. How are you, Lucy Vine, author and long listee? What was happening? Can you correct my error?
I don't know. I sent the request, but I don't know where it would come up.
Stupidity.
But I was very much enjoying you talking, Helen.
But when one is doing you say the right things, well brought up person, but one is not fully aware of the feedback given its silence, and people are just trying to help, but they're not saying enough words. Lucy, this is so funny. When did you finish writing this book? Are we nearly there yet of the title, which it is?
Straight into the questions, Helen. I just want to say thank you so much for this whole thing and listening to me, and it's such an honor, and you're amazing.
I need you
today.
The whole
thing is amazing.
I need you in my life today. Do we not all feel that sometimes? You know, when a day okay, cheers everyone.
Cheers,
I love when Lucy subtly brought her tumbler. What is in your tumbler, Lucy?
It's rum and lemonade, which I know is not a thing, but it is tonight.
Well, talking of things, you know about things. You know about movements, words. Cheers, everyone. Thank you all for.
Thank you for having me. You look absolutely beautiful, by the way.
Well, what I did with the sun shining on me in quite a hot manner and my PC breaking down just before, and I caught sight of we have fringe. It's not about me. Just saying that with the lockdown, you don't have a fringe. I have a fringe situation. Also, have you noticed the slightly frightening eyebrows?
No, they're wonderful. I love them.
With the
cold. I think eyebrows should be as frightening as possible, personally.
No, yours are quite interesting because they go nice, like, and they're a good colour.
I've coloured them in.
Yeah, thank you. So we've both done our eyebrows out of respect.
Yeah, I have washed for you, Helen, and I've shaved my moustache. I've done it all.
Oh, really?
You're welcome.
Somebody like you wouldn't have a moustache. Anyway, so you just wouldn't. So you've got amazing reviews for this book, and I don't want to give the game away completely, but before I read the reviews, I just very early on, very near the beginning, there is a really, really funny joke about vaginas, that one, and size. But I just and what do you think about laugh out loud? Because I thought that is a laugh out loud.
Oh, thank you.
And are you, when you read stuff, do you laugh out loud?
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's sort of a trained response when because you don't, there's some kind of science behind it. You don't actually laugh when you're alone. So when I actually do laugh out loud on my own, that is an amazing thing. If you actually did that, thank you very much.
What is the mechanism, do you think, as a reader, before we come on to you as a writer, that absolutely almost involuntary behavior, what is it?
I think there's something about obviously being funny, but maybe taking somebody by surprise when you don't see it coming, because often you know a joke's coming and you're with it and it's funny and it's all good, but when it sort of takes you by surprise, I think that's when it makes me laugh, like it's voluntary.
No, I actually agree, and I'm just going to be really pretentious because I taught comedy writing 3 times. Very exhausting.
Well, you're so funny.
Haven't been asked.
You're amazing.
But they did say, I think it was Aristotle, just dropping it in.
Oh my God, amazing.
That comedy was about surprise, and that's so clever that you just said that, because it's about authenticity. It's about going right. I absolutely accept that person's comment. I don't question it. I don't think it's derivative. I'm not being pissy about it. And that's the lovely, that whole thing about surprise can trigger laughter. And a lot of the reviews said there were a lot of laugh out loud moments in this book. Now, can you just say to our viewers in our party, somebody's just very nicely said, haha, I know you're brilliant on Instagram and everything. You're amazing. So what made you write this book? What was let's take a sip. I want to hear the origin of the thrust of this particularly long listed book.
Yeah, there was a lot of thrust. Well, I went to LA to see a friend, Emma, and just kind of walk along a beach for a bit, you know how it is.
Yes.
And I it sort of inspired me to do, because I've never been a person that sort of traveled. I went to Australia for a few weeks when I was 19 or 18, but just wasn't very good at it, if you know.
And at that age, you just put that in there, wouldn't you? You just do that.
Like everybody does.
Yeah, you do that section.
But I wasn't very natural at it. I feel like there are people who kind of just are sort of sunbathing, like who just don't even need to wear sun cream because they're just so good at traveling, you know.
Yes, they don't worry about being dirty and things like that. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm always just a person that's like, where's the nearest loo?
Yeah,
where can I find drinking water that I am not afraid of?
You have to be every day. When you start every day, Lucy, you have to be clean.
Exactly.
In your, don't you? You can't have a day where you're not clean. It just doesn't work.
I have been washing a lot less in the last few weeks.
I accept that, but that's rare, and we are in unusual times.
Yeah.
But even when I did my hitchhiking around Europe, but so old, you wouldn't do hitchhiking now. I had to have the undercarriage wash.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you
that's it. Yeah, but so I guess I'd obviously read a lot of wonderful memoirs, like the Eat, Pray, Love stuff, and loved it. But I've never been a person that felt like I could just drop everything and go do something really amazing. And I'm kind of a coward a lot. The older I get, the more I'm a coward, I think.
But you did do that. You did then go.
Well, no, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't go.
I didn't. I just went for a couple of weeks, but it was just really amazing. And I
went to the went to the right restaurants. But okay, so I'm taking that. But what I love about your humor is you absolutely you understand reference points, which is a joy. Your reference point. This book is about reference points, which is both educative and also connecting, because I'm of a different generation. So, but also it's about the person getting it wrong. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I definitely try and say that in my books. Like, we're not on a sort of straight path ever. We're just kind of fucking up as we go along all the time. And it's not sort of always a terrible thing. Sometimes it can be terrible, but it's never going to be kind of the thing that defines you. You can kind of choose what defines you ultimately and try and be I mean, basically I try and write about wanting to be happy, and that doesn't have to be something that's been defined for you. That doesn't have to be a thing that's like everybody else sort of, I don't know,
but the person,
especially with women, you get told to get married and settle down and you know, babies and all that kind of thing, and I definitely really want to sort of challenge that as much as possible in my books, and encourage adventures and doing whatever would make you happy.
But all those, but what I love about it particularly is so we've got a likable character who knows she's getting it wrong, but the reader finds out she's getting it wrong before the narrator tells you she's getting it wrong. So
Helen, did you actually like the character? Because I don't know, I didn't even like her a lot of the time.
I did think about that. I was going to ask you that, not pretending that I'm a SWAT or anything. Actually, I haven't read the whole book, and I can't wait for the bit on Thailand, which I've got to ask you about Thailand. But it just reminds me just like of one time when I was talking about the book I wrote. With a very nice interviewer, and she hadn't read it. Obviously, it was Radio 2. They haven't got time to read books on Radio. I mean, I was grateful to be on it, and so I remember her trying to think of something positive, like apposite, to say about the book that with my name on it. And she said, "Do you know what I love? I just love thinking, what am I going to say? The fact that you've credited all your friends. That was great. So I'm not going to do that to you. No, that was because as soon as I started it, right." I know that you are a comedy writer. Why? Because you've just got that delicacy of lampooning the travel blog. And I immediately, as soon as I started reading this, I thought, this is a very knowing writer, because first of all, it's a travel, welcome to my new travel blog, Dream Chasers. And then I will be out, I can't read suddenly, that has been okay. I will be out here all on my own, as I feel that is important for my spiritual journey, #brave. I mean, I'm not doing it, it's much more subtle than that. So can you talk about your travel blog as a base for the book and how we kind of work with it?
Well, I guess I thought that I'm a wanker, like lots of people are wanker. Like, I feel like if I was doing something really life changing and just sort of quitting my life for 6 months or whatever, or 3 months, I would make a big deal about it. Probably.
Oh, to show off.
Kind of. Yeah, because I want the likes. I'm not immune to the little rat inside me that wants likes.
You're so aware, self-aware, that you can't be that vain on a one-dimensional level. You just can't be, because this demonstrates your awareness of.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it, where I'm aware that I would probably think, oh, I should set up some kind of cool blog or some kind of cool Instagram just for my traveling or something like that, and then I would be too embarrassed because I think I'm kind of too self-conscious, too self-aware sometimes, that it actually stops me doing things that would actually be fun.
So you're hiding, so you're alighting on the subject matter, but you're turning it into a comedy, but it happens to be very effective because it's subtle enough to be joyous. What do you find when you're writing and indeed reading comedy, the moment that it just can tip very quickly, can't it, into overpush, would you say? So
and I don't know, I hope I didn't.
Well, you haven't. No, I mean, I just thought I'm just going to revel in this pretend blog. So what is the catalyst for the person, the heroine, Alice, who we're not sure if we completely like, but then of all of us are more likable for our flaws, are we not?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anyone completely nice, do you?
No,
now.
I think that was a kind of a problem for quite a long time, like for maybe in women's fiction, some, not all, but we felt like we had to write characters that were just nice and likable, and if they were too beautiful they had to be sort of clumsy in some way, so they were sort of retained their likability. But obviously we're human beings, aren't we?
And
we are terrible at times and great.
But that's an interesting point. So I don't think you've necessarily not done that, because obviously everyone has their flaws. So our joy is in recognizing other people's flaws and feeling slightly superior, that we suss their flaws. And I find it very difficult to actually engage with my own flaws. I'm just quite busy understanding other people's. But all of it is like human nature. So what? So we start off with the travel blog. What is the catalyst to make her need to change her life? Because that is resonant in a lot of people of your age group, being like 500 years younger. Yeah.
Not at all.
I just said that so you'd be nice. Yeah. But what is the catalyst for her to?
Well, I think millennials have had sort of a weird time of it, haven't they? It's a generation that we can't buy houses. We don't really know what we're doing. Job security is terrible. And
was it really terrible before the lockdown thing that we're having? Was it?
Well, I mean, it's just, I just don't think that we had the same sort of job for life thing that maybe the generation before us had. And there was sort of more awareness about mental health, so we were more sort of putting our happiness forward, which has been great, but also meant that we sort of then did try and chase dreams and stuff like that and try and get there, whereas like it's just, I think it's just been a kind of weird self-examinating. So I've
heard that about millennials, that because I have a child who's a millennial, and they talk about happiness and just go, why? Like, why? Because I never.
Parents are a bit more like,
why would you not happiness?
Get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's never been a thing. The absence of unhappiness is probably important to me, but that's interesting that you're aware of that. Oh God, the people are being so interesting. Let me just segue. You're good at this. You're much better than it. Says this time especially. Somebody's very strictly, love Deirdre. Name of book and author, please. Deirdre, are we nearly there yet? And the wonderful Lucy Vine. But so do you think this book, with this like that, so it appeals to me, and I'm not millennial, because you've parodied something so beautifully that it connects, and I thank you for that. People need to enjoy parody, don't they, and finding it. Thank you. What happens with the character? So why does she suddenly go?
Well, so she just sort of, it sort of starts with her on her 30th birthday, I think. God, it's actually been a couple of years since I've read this.
So yeah, oh God, I know that feeling. It's 5 years since I wrote mine. Don't go there. Anyway,
yeah.
yes.
But I'm just at the end of writing a new book. So it's one of these things taking me back, but this is lovely. It's like memory lane.
I want to do this, and then I'm desperate to ask about your writing habits, because that's what everybody wants to know about with Quit, this loving community. But everyone wants to know about your writing. But anyway, so the catalyst here.
Well, so it's her 30th birthday. Her best friend, who was on the same sort of level of disarray in life, suddenly announced she's pregnant and like settling down with her partner.
And that's a betrayal. That's
it's a total betrayal. How dare she?
Yes. Yeah.
And so she's not got a sort of secure job. She's renting her room in her friend's house that she's going to have to move out of.
But I remember, I'm interrupting you, because even when you explain that, when I saw that in the narrative, it just unfolded so brilliantly, because it was like, obviously that everything's got conditions. It's like, there you are as a very knowing heroine, just having to suck up quite a lot of shit, quite a lot of difficulties. Like when people say they're being nice, in fact, there's always a kind of proviso that they're not being that nice. That's what I love about it, because that is your humor, that we want stuff, but actually it might happen, but not really. It's kind of tough shit. So, but so there's obviously a lot of sex, what is sexting? Sexting.
You don't know what sexting is, Helen?
Well, I think it's
hold on, I'm going to
on a thing. but like, I like the way you spoke. It's probably rude, but it's like, it's quite out there. But that is part of your world, is it? Where you say cum in a text. I mean, or is that a bit old-fashioned, or is it like postmodern?
Personally, I am horrified by sexting.
And what is the point of it?
I'm so cringy. I don't know, because I don't think it's sexy at all. Like, if somebody sent you a text, Helen, that was of their penis or saying, do you want to do this to me?
Is that normal, though? That is part of a millennial...
It's quite normal, yeah. And I've got way less repressed friends who love sexting, but I'm just too sexually repressed. I'm like, don't talk about coming.
So, no, I think that's unnecessary in a text or even in an instant. No, I brought the conversation up, so it's my responsibility. But no, because
But I'll text you after this, and you can see what you think.
Yes, and is sexting just words, or does it require a GIF or a real photo?
I'm not sure GIFs are a thing.
They come as GIFs.
But sexting is just texting somebody or WhatsApping probably in a sort of sexual way. So can be videos, can be pictures, can be just very descriptive.
And if somebody engages in sexting, what assumption would you make about that person?
Well, as somebody that spent 8 years like on and off Tinder, I am not a fan.
No.
There's quite a lot of men out there who want to send you pictures of their penis, and I don't really understand it. I don't know why they're so proud of them.
Because where would you go after that?
I would just
the photograph.
Yeah.
What?
I block.
Oh, right. So it's crossing a line in your view.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, unless you're into it and you request it, I actually think it's kind of a bit of a power play. It's almost like flashing. If you haven't asked for a picture of somebody's penis, don't.
Why would you be grateful?
And
in the 60s, when I was growing up, there were flashers everywhere. There was a real trend for flashers.
It was really cool back then.
We had the raincoat. We had the proper thing.
You know, we did
cool. No, but it is an interesting thing. But anyway, the world you paint is really is helpful for. I'm from a different generation. So then, so it's the living the dream. Where does your travel blog occur? Is it published in the character, the Alice?
The character, it's not real. It's on a thing called AWOL, which I just made up, because I don't think even blogs are really kind of a thing that much anymore either.
Right.
Mainly did it because I kind of wanted her to be a bit out of touch, because I don't think travel blogs are huge anymore. I don't think
that's subtle. That the layering of the frailty of this person for the audience to connect with is deepening as we exchange.
Well, she's terrible at blogging, so I kind of it was a bit of me again, that kind of thing of like, if I did it, I would be terrible at it. I mean, I might write a little bit better than she does,
but it's cliches.
I would still be. Yeah,
I
there's
love
a lot
cliches.
of cliches in it. Yeah, I love a cliche.
I mean, cliche is adorable as a thing because you can play with it, and then nobody quite knows if you know that it's a cliche. This is why your book is so clever, because nobody quite knows. There's that knowing thing, but it's informative. Thailand, what happens in Thailand? Oh God, I want to ask you, because you write, okay, before you do Thailand, you've written a lot of books. When did you start? Because the people want to ask about Abigail Mann, lovely winner of the Quip thing prize, just joined. When did you write your first book? We're doing like biography now because of time. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it goes so quickly. Let's just stay here all evening.
Yes, I could. I've got no life except for Quip, and you seem to be a long-listed author, so we could just crack on.
Let's just hang out all night.
You've written a lot of novels, haven't you, Lizzie?
Well, so I'm the fourth one will come out next year, so I wrote the first one. I think it's been fairly quick. I think it was 2016.
So do you write a book? This is where the writers are going to be really interested, because it's in nuts and bolts. It's what everyone needs to know. So you write a book a year? Pretty
much, yes. So this is the first year I'm not bringing out a book, but it was kind of a complicated thing where I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to tell you. But
I don't know.
I wrote a book.
We've done texting.
And
I was texting.
It wasn't working, so I started again this year.
No, but that's so good. That's so brave. Somebody, I love that. I love that you said that. This is why you're good. Somebody's just said, lovely Kathleen Wyman, #1, and said, it'd be great to hear a little about book 4, please. Thank you, with a kiss, which I think is very polite. But it's fine. It's fine to go off. I spent a year on my second one. Yeah. It's fine.
And did you
redoing it currently?
It's so tough, isn't it? Because you spend such a long time, and then.
But that is so important.
Yeah.
And also because you're so modern, and this is of its time.
Yeah.
Another seminar. We'll start to do seminars. Do you think that content dates when you're writing in this fast-paced way that you do?
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. And so
it's funny.
I've tried not to do date, but this is a thing with this one I'm writing now, which is coming out next year. So I have written in a sort of 2021 way, which is a weird thing in itself. But
will we be talking about lockdown in our literature? I mean,
I'm actually not sure how much I'm allowed to say about what I'm doing.
No, I get that. But my fear, being a kind of slightly unpleasant person deep down with a lot of bitterness, is everybody will be writing their novel now. Yeah. And it's going to be so competitive to get published when it changes. And a lot of it will be about lockdown, but it's a marker, isn't it, in our life?
But Helen, do you think that people have actually been writing during lockdown? Because I feel like there was a big sort of like, okay, I can finally have time to... And then I think there was a big sort of almost backlash against that, going, oh, I can't. It's too stressful and weird.
Like we're confused.
At the time.
Yeah. I'm writing a bit, but it gives me peace from Quip, because Quip is doing my head in, like, in a mad way. Yeah. So my writing is soothing me, but I'm not anywhere near producing a novel like you are.
Because for the first few weeks of lockdown, I was such a mess and couldn't write anything. I was just reading the news the whole time. Yeah. And Annabelle has just has just joined, and she's actually been part of my saviour, because
I love Annabelle especially. Yeah.
The author Isabel Broom, I don't know if you're familiar with her. I told her I was struggling.
Yes, I know of her, yes.
Yeah, and she suggested we start doing word races twice a day. So at 11 a.m. we clock in and we do an hour of solid writing. That's just racing and Annabelle is in that group. She's been brilliant.
Do you show each other so it's a kind of corps d'esprit to go, right, come on, we can do it.
Right. Writing for an hour at 11 a.m. and then at 4 o'clock or whatever. And we just go, right, how many words have you written after an hour? And it's just been so good. It's really worked for me.
Because of the isolation, oh my God, what is the time? Oh God, we can only allow What is the time?
It's 7:27.
Okay, we got a couple of more minutes. I could talk. Will you come back? I mean,
I'd love to.
We're learning this, and we're learning what people want. And the thing about Quit community growing online is about. I know I may have talked too much, but I can't afford insecurity now. So that is that all that interaction is good for other people, and what you say connects with other people, and what I mean, you doing something with another group.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fantastic.
Do you ever write with other people? Because I know different authors do different things.
No, I'm too competitive. I'm a stand-up. Stand-up comedians are too competitive. And it's my training.
Yeah. But I've never been able to do it before. I've never been able to. Lots of lovely authors in my life have offered to help to read manuscripts or to give me advice or to talk through ideas and brainstorm. And I've always said no, because I'm so kind of awkward about a work in progress. I hate it.
And revealing it. It's your heart, it's your soul, isn't it?
Yeah. And but this kind of thing, I'm not sharing anything of what I've writing with the group.
It's an exercise. It's an external discipline.
Yeah. See, it just makes me sit down and write, and I can't get out of it.
And that would be so freeing. That would be so freeing, because you're not lumped and lumbered with it working in the content. It's just it's like masturbation.
And it's been amazing.
That's the wrong word that came out, but it's just like an activity, a frenzy, or something that is visceral and you can do. So Lucy, maybe you'll come back and give us a seminar on this writing.
I want a seminar from you, Helen. You're amazing.
No, not at the moment. I've had a very bad day. My fringes and the eyebrows.
I'm enjoying your fringe and
grooming.
Your eyebrows.
Look, it's just like you could put a tray. Don't go to the roots. It's about accepting the
lockdown roots. It's a thing.
No, but it looks good on you.
It's cool now.
But look, we've got such nice people writing really good feedback. This was an absolutely lovely exchange.
Yeah, he's so proud of me, and I'm so honestly honoured. And I think what you've been doing with CWIP is phenomenal, and I'm so proud to be on the list.
Other people helping now as well. It's not just me, unfortunately. I can't take all the credit. It's annoying. I try to, but it is doing our heads in, and to know that we're having conversations like this from that, and where it can go, and your book. Are we nearly there? I promise you, this is, look, I've put pencil marks in it. It's really funny. And book 4 will happen.
I'm nearly there with it, actually. Are we nearly there yet? Yes, we are nearly there.
Oh, you are nearly there. You're there. You've arrived and you're beyond. And people are trying to say nice things to help us say goodbye. They're going, see you tomorrow, lol. I love that, Lucy. No, because it's true, because who knows how to say goodbye? I mean, I want to keep you here in my pocket because it's been a shit day.
Are you okay?
No, not great. And I think that we all have,
everybody's going through it at the moment, aren't they?
Particularly now.
Ups and downs,
Ups and downs. Just don't look at the roots.
I was going to say, but you look wonderful. If that helps.
I put a powdered thing, and we've got
beautiful hair, Helen.
Well, no, but look at the.
Honestly, it looks great.
No, this is not a normal. This fringe is just no.
I love it.
I can't even discuss it.
It's sassy.
It's beyond discussion. I love your book. I love the fact you're longlisted for Quit, and come back. We're going to think of some more things to do. Yeah. And how do we end it? Because we're only allowed 30 minutes.
Can I interview you next?
Yes. 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 And then you interview me, interviewing you, interviewing me, and so it will be like a kind of a parity of question and answers, as opposed to overexcitement and nervousness. Okay, amazing. I love you.
I love you,
everyone, and we're going to tweet about this, and let's be in touch. And I love your friend Daisy. We love her.
Daisy bought me this glass. When my first book came out.
Daisy Rollerball, not to exclude other people, but we love Daisy
you
Buchanan as well. Especially, she's a lovely
had a
girl.
rum. I love everyone. Okay.
All of us equal. Love you very much. Goodbye, everybody. Do we press cross end?
I think so. Yeah. Thank you so much, Helen.
Love you. It says end now.